This is Trez AI, aka MultiOn on steroids. Okay. So here we see an example of MultiOn in an open-ended task. So shopping for a dress, right? And so it searches for a dress online on Google. That's good so far. But then it starts clicking on Lululemon, right? Lululemon, right? Which is the clothing brand, if you're not aware. And I'm asking, like, why Lululemon, right? I didn't even specify that, right? And then it starts clicking on some random dress and adds it to my shopping bag or shopping cart or whatever, right? And it didn't even ask me about what I wanted to do, right? Why didn't it take into account my user preferences and other things like that, right? This is an open-ended task, and it should be asking me more questions to specify my user intent, right? Here's another example.
Another example is, let's say I want to find another headphones with a similar weight as the Sony XM4 headphones. And so I asked MultiOn this, and it quickly finds that, okay, the Sony XM4 headphones are about 2.31 pounds. And this is a task success. However, next, when it tries to find similar headphones, it just searches up headphones with a similar weight to the Sony XM4 headphones, which is obviously not what a human would do. A human would say, can I find headphones which are close to 2.3 pounds in weight? And this leads to poor performance on this task.
Yeah, so if you have like two tasks and you have to use the information from the first task to inform the second task, MultiOn is unable to do that kind of thing. So this is our solution. We have a 3 LLM approach. 3 in Spanish is Trez, right? So Trez AI, that's where the name comes from. So the user prompt, which is, let's say we assume that the user cannot do prompt engineering, is not really good at that kind of stuff. Maybe they need prompting, right? So you get a user prompt in, and this is our black box, which is the actor-critic model, right? This is composed of 2 LLMs. One is the actor, and one is the critic. The actor is going to try to make a chain of thought to complete the problem. And then the critic is going to look at that and be like, you know, the feedback, right? Give feedback on what the chain of thought is and how to improve that, right? This is going to run for a couple of times, back and forth. And then finally, we're going to get a good chain of thought without redundant steps, without misordered steps and all that stuff. And that's going to be fed into MultiOn, right? And then MultiOn and the actor-critic model are going to go back and forth and then try to complete the task.
We also have a third LLM, which is a watcher, which tries to check when the human is needed in the loop. In some examples, like for example, if the user just specifies that they want a dress, there's not enough info to know what type of dress the user wants, what type of occasion do they want it for, what is their price range, what types of styles do they like. And so this third LLM, it looks at the outputs of MultiOn and tries to figure out when exactly do we need a human to enter in the loop. Additionally, this third LM also can try to figure out when is MultiOn trying to veering from the task, and when it realizes that MultiOn is veering from the task, for example, if it's looking for a dress that's not exactly what the user specifies, it can prompt the other 2 LMs to create a new chain of thought based off of the current step that MultiOn is stuck on. And with this new chain of thought, hopefully, it creates more detailed step process for the MultiOn to follow, thereby improving the search results that MultiOn can find. And so for the tools we used, we obviously used MultiOn to perform all the searches. We used agent ops to track how many API calls we were using, especially since we were using multiple different LLMs and MultiOn. And so we wanted to track our usage of all these different tools. So that's where we used agent ops. We used AWS Bedrock for our watcher model, which would take both a screenshot and the chain of thoughts generated by the previous 2 LLMs. And so then it would then tell whether a human was needed in the loop. We used Grok for the first 2 LLMs because Grok had really super fast LLMs. And finally, we used Mem0 to track all the conversation histories, and we put everything in a memory so that later on we could figure out places that we could improve our 2 LLM process. And so we can just see a screenshot of our agent ops usage. As you can see, sometimes there were thoughts that were repeated multiple times, so that we definitely noticed this, that MultiOn would repeat that it's looking for the same dress multiple different times. Also, we can just see how many times that the LLMs were called.
The reason that we included this specifically was that the other ones seemed a little bit more clear, and we wanted to explain this one in a little more detail. So demo time. So remember what I said about the shopping for the dress part? So as our POC concept suggests, right? Let's say we're shopping for a dress. Basically, if you use our actor-critic model, what it'll do is it'll ask you about things that you're looking for in the dress, right? Are you looking for formal or casual? right? And what is your preferred fit for the dress, the color, style preferences, budget range, and then any intended like platform, online platform to order this, right? A lot more prompting the user because they don't know how to specify that themselves, right? And I'm assuming that the target of MultiOn is supposed to be to complete web tasks, but you know, you want to be able to know like how to prompt it so that it's you know, has all this necessary details in order to perform the task to the user's intent, right? So this is sort of the improvement from what you saw in a previous slide. And so some of the difficulties that we had were routing between. So we actually have a demo. Where was the demo slide? We had the video. People from the last presentation can attest to that, but we'll show you later. So routing between, so some of the difficulties we had were like routing between LLMs, reducing latency with MultiOn, and not being able to. Sometimes MultiOn has like faces a capture or something like that. And so, you know, not being able to click on things like that in the screen session. And then some improvements to make are obviously prompt engineering the LLMs that we use. We have 3 LLMs, right? And so prompt engineering those to make them better. Integrating that with Streamlit or Gradio to make it like a much better POC. And then possibly making it directly integrable with MultiOn. And then adding the video stream feature. So thank you. Do you guys have any questions?